Alright, we're back to Unturned, and we're going to share some tips and tricks today. Now, I've had a lot of excitement on this here Washington server, and I do enjoy that. It's something you want to do. It's something I've been saying from the start. Find a server that kind of fits your style of play. Now, we're gonna play the three Goldilocks and the Three Little Bears. This server is a little hot for me. I can handle it, but they're already blowing up bases. I just got established there a few days ago. Um, we're we're in a water base under the cargo ship. Yeah, if we look, I am right here under the cargo ship, and I got a base here, 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 and I think out here is another water base. They're already popping bases on the server. My wood base here got hit. I haven't checked here yet. So they're already blowing up bases. This server is a little hot, but I'm established enough. I can handle it. So later on, if I'm in the mood, I'm going to have a look around and see if I can find the base of someone who I suspect has the boom, and see if we can't deal with them. And here we go. Yeah, we're playing the Goldilocks and the Three Bears. This server seems to be cold. Doesn't really seem to be anyone on it. Here I'm looking for gas cans and whatnot. So what I do is I come through, look to see if they have anything I want, any food and water. A little bit of food, water, a little bit of food. A little of that. Take all this good stuff. I'm mostly looking for gas cans. Alright, didn't have any gas cans. So we're gonna log out right here. And half hour or so I'll go back and go loot that up again. That way I'm not wasting food and water. That's why I'm saying playing on multiple servers is usually a good idea. Find a server that really fits your... okay, we got someone who joined. I haven't seen him before. That's another thing you could do. You can see how long someone's been on. Pay attention to this shit, especially to your little bit more hot servers. Pay attention to who's on, how long they've been on. Check their kill count. And I'll show you how to do that. Bring up the map. Oh, okay. These two joined at the same time. I think I've seen this guy before. They don't have a kill count. But they joined at the same time. They're probably in a group. Alright. Keep an eye on that. Groups can be dangerous. Especially if you're a solo like me. So I might check them out later to see what they're about. Right now I'm not too worried about them. Doesn't look like they're about nothing. If you're new to a server, and I've been saying this, don't be a loot goblin. Don't grab everything. Don't go in and grind out for a little bit and build you a big stupid freaking wood base, and then act like you own the freaking joint. Someone's gonna come along and just someone like this sweaty fucker that built this mess is gonna come along and blow you out of his area. Come in, look around the area you want to build in. Like, I want to be where I'm at. I want to be here. I want to control this for the Rangers gear and metal, and I want to control this because this is where all the weaponry, well, most of it spawns. And I want to keep an eye on this. I can't control this. This is where all the action is. I avoid it when there's a decent amount of people on or groups are on. I avoid this area, but I keep an eye on it. This is too much for me to control. I want to control this little area here. This is what I patrol. I know, anyone who builds a base, I'm watching them, and kind of right now because of the way the server's been, anyone who builds in this area, I just get rid of them. You know, I'm sorry if you're new and you try to build in this area, and I come along and blow you out of here. It's just because I've been having too much trouble in this area, and I don't want anyone established in this area and start messing with my shit. And so if you are a new person and you log onto a server and say I want to build near here or whatever, but you're new to the server, you better have a look around and see if you see a decently sized metal base or somebody that looks like they've been on for a while. And you know what? You probably want to get out of their neighborhood. Maybe go over here or here, somewhere a little bit more out of the way. You could still farm this, and you can still farm this. That'll be plenty for you. Stay out. Just don't be don't be in that guy's way, 'cause he's probably been on for a while. If he's got a big metal base and it kind of looks like he's geared out or whatever, and you might not want to make him an enemy right off. Try to if you see him on, like I said, you can see if someone's been on and been putting in work. You'll see a kill count. Like I have 8. That's not 8 kills. I don't know how exactly the game calculates it. There's a certain way it does it. Um, it depends on the interaction. There's a system to it. I don't know how it works. I never looked into it. I don't care. I just look for numbers. I'm like, all right, he's been doing things, and he ain't been doing shit. He ain't been doing shit. He's been in a couple of scraps and it's come out best. Stuff like that. Keep an eye on that. And if you see this guy, that has something like this, and you're in his area, maybe try to make peace with the guy, or just stay out of his way. Keep your head down. Um, if I'm going around and I see a little 2x2 over here, or a 1x2 over here, I'm gonna make a mental note. All right, there's a base there. All right, there's a base there, and every couple of days I'm gonna check in on you, see how you're doing. Because I'm starting to expand my patrol a little bit. I'll go around here because most people will build a base around here. And I'll just see what's up, what they're building, what they got here, what they're building, and what they got. I'm pretty much evicting anybody out of this area because it's just I've had too many problems over here, and I have too much to lose at this point. I'm pretty well invested, so if I deem you a threat, off you go. So don't be the new guy that moves into the hood and thinks you're like this one guy that he was building here, right? He grinded for 16 hours straight, and then started killing everybody. Oh my God, the server's getting warm. Yeah, I gotta keep an eye on this server. Um, don't be this guy who ground out for 16 hours straight. Then he started killing anybody who was coming around here. I was here first. I evicted him. I blew up his whole thing. He had a big, huge freaking wooden base, and was starting to work on a metal base, and I kept an eye on that. Now, eventually, if you want to get to where I am at a server, you're gonna have to keep your head down at first, because you might piss off this guy over here and get yourself blowed off the server. Now, if you want to duke it out with him later on, fine. It's better to make friends with someone like that than have enemies in this game. And you can mess with these little turds if you want later on. Play the game how you want. Like I said, there are so many servers in this game. There is a server for everybody. Trust me. If you just want to scrap all day long, just grab up guns and shoot each other in the face all day long, there are servers for that. If you want to build and not really get into any problems, any scraps at all, there are servers for that. That's why I say play on multiple servers. Don't be you don't have to spend hours on each server. Just spend 20 minutes on each server. Build a little 1x2 and get a little bit of food and water in there. Don't be a little loot goblin. Just get you a little food and water in there, and then check on it maybe once every day or so, and see how it is. See if your little base gets blowed up. Put a couple of little bases around. See if they get blowed up. If you want the action, build up. If you don't want that kind of action, move on to another server. Put a little 2x1 in an area, maybe a little test base like say if I wanted to see what this server is about, I'd put a little, and there's nothing around it. Make sure you look in the area. Make sure there's no bases around, or if there are bases around, and if there are bases around and they're blown up, maybe there's someone around that's blowing up all the bases. Try to see where they're at and stay out of their way. Like say I come here and there's a big metal base here and everything around is blowed up. You might want to be over here somewhere. Get out of that guy's little patrol area because he might want to be rid of you. He might not be. He might be to the point where I'm at where anybody in the area just gets the frickin' boot because I'm tired of the bull around here. People building up these bases and these big wooden bases and then think they can just piss all over my lawn and start shooting everybody. And then if I come over here and you take a pot shot at me, I probably already know where your base is because I've been paying attention and I patrol this area. I know who's building what. I pay attention to who's on, what they've been up to by looking at their kill count, stuff like that. I probably know who you are and what you're about, and I'm probably gonna just get rid of the problem before you're my problem. I am not God's gift to any video game, and not this one either, but I have 2,500 hours into this game. I kind of know what I'm doing. I would think so by now. Otherwise, I'm not just talking out of my backside. Now, like, what was it, yesterday? I seen a group on. They were on for quite a while, and I was watching them. I was in a little tower. I build towers around. And I was in there watching them, and I watched where they were farming and had a pretty good idea where their base was because I could see where they were coming from. They were coming into Seattle, frickin' tractor, farming up a little bit and then going back in that direction. I was like, all right, they got a base up over there, and I kept an eye on them. And they've been on for a little while, so I was just curious. I wanted to see what they were about, so I put on some garbage kit and walked up to them. They were oblivious to there. I could have walked up and stabbed them in the head with a knife, but I just wanted to see how hostile they were or whatever. And, of course, they shot me, they KOS'd me, and I'm like, all right, well, you got to go. And so don't be that guy. If someone walks up to you and is just kind of chill, like I walked up to him, had my knife out, and I'm like, oh, there's two of you here, hello. I waited for them to, I'm sitting there going like this until they finally spotted me. I could have aced them both, no problem, but, I'm not, I'm not. I just wanted to see what they were about, and they turned and looked at me, and I was like, hi. And I just started walking away and turned, and they blew my freaking head off. And I'm like, all right. Then they went over and took my gun. Well, I'm going to get my gun back. Of course, I did get my gun back because I went over to their base and camped them out. And as soon as I see, well, the one was dead in front of his door. I guess he dehydrated to death. Yeah, if you're new to the server, don't go around shooting everybody in the face. You might piss off the wrong one. It's always about don't piss off the wrong guy. If you're on an active server, if someone shoots at you, that's fair enough. Blow their head off if you're good at the PvP or whatever. Like I said, just play to your strengths. My strength is not PvP. I'm pretty good at it. I'm decent at it, but I rely on going out at night and being stealth. I'm not the quick reflex guy anymore. I'm a bit of an older player. I rely more on strategy. Like I know where your base is. And I'm going to wait till nighttime, and I'm going to post up at your frickin' door, wait for you to come out, herp-derping around with a frickin' flashlight, and I'm going to blow your head off. You're not even going to know I'm there. I get PvP like that. If you catch me out, I got a 50-50 of beating you. I'm pretty good. If you catch me out, I'm walking around somewhere, and you start popping at me, I'm going to prone, find you, scope you, and blow, and shoot at you. My reflexes are not that. You're going to have probably another quarter of a second on me because I'm just not there anymore. I'm older, I'm an older guy. But I'm usually pretty well kitted, So, it's just, So if you do want to be on a server, don't go around pissing everybody off, because that might be the end of your time on the server. There are two groups I've already removed off the server, and they thought they were going to take over this, right? This guy built a big wooden base here, thought he owned the joint, he was running this. This was his loop. There was a two-man that started building here, and they started running, I think they were running this loop, or they were just running this short little loop. I am not 100%. They just had a stash way back over here, and they were building a 2x4 metal base. And I found them, and I'm like, oh, they're going to be a problem. And I seen them over there building, and I tried to talk to them in the chat, see what they're about, and they kind of were like just ignoring me or whatever. So I was like, "Le pew pew your face," because I was like, "No habla inglés, le pew pew your face," and they were like, "We le pew pew your face," and I just aced them both right off their little roof. I posted up right outside their base on top of a hill and just killed them both. And then I griefed their base, and so they're gone. They moved out. This guy moved out, and then the two men that shot me in Seattle when I wanted to see what they were about, I already knew their base is. They moved out. So that's a good way, and they had all spent hours upon hours on that server. And like I said, there's always the one guy, no matter how good you think you are, there's always one guy that is better. Like, I think I'm decent at the game, but I know there are people out there way better than me, and I am not looking to piss them off. However, I will defend this area. And I have enough in this base that if I decide I needed to defend my area, I am going to be, whether I'm better or you're better at me than the PvP or not, I can defend my area. You know what I mean? I'll offline the shit out of you if I have to, because I'm invested now. Whatever I have to do, I'm gonna do it. So, careful who you piss off in the video game, and especially this game, because you may put 20, 30 hours into a server, fuck with the wrong one, and then you're out. You know what I mean? It's happened to me. It's happened to me. I'm speaking from experience. I'm not, it's happened to me. I've moved onto a server, put 2, 3 days into it. This was early in my earlier on days. Thought I was king shit, and some guy just frickin' foundation wiped my base. I'm like, well, I guess that was the wrong one. You know what I mean? And I was in a two-man group, and he aced us both and wiped out our base. And I'm like, well, I guess I need to get better at the video game. This is when I had 200-300 hours in the game. Like I said, I got 2,500 now. Now I know what to look for, and you'll get there. You play enough, you'll know. It's just like the real world. Like these guys might be this guy might be really good. I don't know who's who. This guy. Oh, there's Hippo's back. I've already dealt with him yesterday. That was one of them in the two-man. He'll be back for more. So, yeah, he was already killed. And that was in a two-man. I aced one of them. There's too many on right now. For me to go deal with that. So, I'm curious. Where's his friend Space Cat? I wonder if he's coming on. It might be interesting. It might be something I have to deal with. Well, anyways, I just wanted to share that. A little bit of information with you. A little bit more on the tips and tricks. I'm going to keep an eye on the server right now because I'm curious why they came back. I thought I got rid of you. And why are all these people on? I'm wondering if I'm getting zerged. Things might get spicy. If things get spicy, we'll be back. See you on the next one.